Okay, as I make this video, I realized that I did not number the back problems correctly. And this word problem here should be 9 and 10. So this is number 9. Okay, so some fireworks are fired vertically into the air from the ground at an initial speed of 80 feet per second. The equation for this object's height, h, at time t seconds after launch is h equals negative 16t squared plus 80t. How long will it take for the fireworks to reach the ground? So realize that this equation is for the height. And the height of the fireworks when it hits the ground is 0. So we substitute 0 in for h. Now what we have here is a quadratic equation that we need to solve. We could use the quadratic formula, or in this case, this one happens to be factorable. How can I tell? Because I'm looking at it, it's 2 parts, and they each have a factor of t, or if you want to factor even more out, you can factor out a negative 16. So that makes it factor like this. So if we use the zero product property, this quantity, this factor times this factor equals 0. So we set the factors equal to 0 and solve each one. Whoops. Spoiler alert. Hold on a second. There. T minus 5 equals 0. So on this one, t is 0 divided by negative 16, which is just 0. And on this one, t is 5 seconds. Now, which one makes sense? Does it hit the ground at 0 seconds? Nope. It hits the ground at 5 seconds. 0 seconds would not make sense for the problem, so that's our answer. I think what I'll do is also solve it with the quadratic formula, so you can see what that looks like. The quadratic formula will always work, and if you're not sure when it's factorable, when it's not, you can just resort to the quadratic formula. So in this equation, a is negative 16, b is 80, but c is 0. There's no constant term. So we're going to have negative 80 plus or minus the square root of 80 squared minus 4 times negative 16 times 0 all over 2 times negative 16. And then anything times 0 is 0. So this stuff right here is nothing. So what we end up with here is negative 80 plus or minus, and then the square root of 80 squared, this piece right here. Remember how the square root undoes squaring? Those are inverse operations. So this is just 80 and over negative 32. So then you do this twice. You do negative 80 plus 80, which would be 0 over negative 32. And you do negative 80 minus 180, which is negative 160 over negative 32. And I believe this comes out to be 5. This comes out to be 0. So 5 seconds is the one that makes sense. Sorry I'm talking so fast on this. Nobody wants to watch a long video though, so I feel justified.